There's a few alumni and that have said that they couldn't believe how well prepared they were. And that's more than anything we could ask for, to know that we've given them the right tools. Yeah. And they've accepted it too, right? That's another thing. They also put in their efforts. So that's lovely to hear.
I'm Agnes Stowicki, Managing Editor with Our Kids. We're speaking with insiders from Canada's leading private and independent schools to bring you insights into school programs, culture, traditions, and leadership. This includes insights from parents, alumni, and administration. This is the Our Kids Insider Perspective.
So the first thing I love is spending my day with our students. I always say how lucky we are to have the group of children we do, and supply teachers can attest to that. They come to our school and they say, my goodness, your students are so polite. They're so engaged and kind. And we also, when we do go to sporting events, have the referees always comment on how welcoming our kids are. So my number one is spending my day with the students. Second thing I love would have to be bringing in new teachers or new students, welcoming them to the school, to the community, and watching them grow. The growth I've seen over all the many years I've been at Fieldstone is consistent. We always have students who surprise themselves, teachers who just continue to excel at what they do. So just being part of that growth. And also I'm still in the classroom as well. My own personal growth, I love that too. I love the fact that when we change with the times, we are always looking for what is best for our students and our teachers. And yeah, I think growth would be the other one. The third thing I would have to say is working with my head of school and the owner of the school and the admissions team and just the whole office staff. We are a family. And I get very emotional because I have been there for 18 years. And especially through COVID, to have that family virtually or in person, we always look out for one another. We always look for the positive. I call it the silver lining. And I'm so grateful because people can say, oh, my job is my second home, but I really mean it. It's when I go there, I feel complete. Oh gosh, when I first joined, so I had done 1 year as a teacher intern at another private school, and Fieldstone was recommended to me by one of the teachers there because her son went there. So I'd already heard all these wonderful things. And when I'd done my interview, I got to meet the kids, see the school, meet the staff. And I was so excited to become part of such a positive and welcoming group of people and a community. And I think, so that was, yeah, one of the things was just, this is my next step, because I didn't know. I came into teaching at a time where the jobs were far and few between. So to have that, it was like, yes, I know where I'm going to be and who I'm going to be with. And I love that. Another thing I really was looking forward to is at our school, we have houses, and kids from K-8 are part of one of the 4 houses. So we will do special house events and we would do morning house meetings. So every morning I would start my day off with a group of students across the grades. And it was just a wonderful way to build friendships, connections with other teachers. And being a grade 1 teacher at that time, I had a lot of time with the primary group, but I also now, because of these house meetings, was able to bond with the junior students. Like it was K-6 for a while, and then we became K-8. And it was just the best way to start the day. We'd do activities, we'd work on character pins. So that I was really looking forward to as well, because I didn't ever want to just be that teacher. I wanted to get to know all of the students, and that was great. Another thing, because I got to think back for so long, what else was I really looking forward to? The curriculum. So it's not Ontario curriculum, or some of it is, sorry, not what I was teaching, but for the core subjects, the curriculum was just so unique and engaging. And for subjects that maybe I hadn't had as much experience in with my teaching practicums, the resources were amazing. And just the content was so engaging. And so as a teacher, you can't really ask for much more than that to be able to teach a curriculum you really enjoy learning yourself. Because as a teacher, I always teach myself first, and I was loving it. And I'm like, I wish I had done this in grade 1. I wish I'd done this in grade 3. And so I was really looking forward to getting a solid curriculum that could benefit my students. So there's never a typical day. I've learned. So for the past 4 years, I've been as assistant head of school, but 2 years ago, I also went back into the classroom. So I'm wearing 2 hats, and I balance them very well. I must say, the students know that if they're in another grade, but I'm with my students and they need a VP, I call myself VP, but assistant heads help. They know to come to my door, that it's always open, and I can always get someone to cover my class to still be that assistant head, that admin role to a student in need. So I think a typical day, number one, is I always go in, whatever's happened in life, whatever is left at the door, and I really just go in and how are we going to make this a great day, right? So there will be, most of my day is spent teaching my grade 3s right now. And then the times I'm not with my grade 3s, that's when I do my assistant head role. So that could be getting ready for the jump rope for heart event, talking to teachers about working with a student who has a special, student success plan, which is like an IEP. So yeah, each day is so different, but there's a lot of learning. There's a lot of support. And how else? And just a lot of social time. I really try to get out there at recess. I really try to get to the cafeteria to see the kids and just make sure I check in on all of the kids, and the teachers make my rounds, I would say. So it's been tricky, but it's so rewarding that somehow it just keeps me going. And right now we don't have parents coming into the school, which has been a very difficult change because we really rely on parent teachers, like parent staff connection. So we've also had to figure out a way in which to engage with our parents virtually. So making sure that the Friday file is really clear on what we've accomplished this week, what we have to look forward to, so that the parents are still in the loop. So it's teachers, students, parents, and then of course, like myself as a teacher and an assistant head. So yeah, I go with the flow, and I'm able to leave every day knowing I've done my best and my kids have left smiling. So yeah, that's pretty much right now, that's where it's at. Yeah. We're not just about the learning of academics. It's very important. Our academics are very important to Fieldstone, but we also really, we teach for lifelong learning. So we also have to make sure we include our social growth and our emotional growth and character traits. And I think for a student who comes to our school, our first step is always to let them know they belong. So it's, you are welcome here. We're happy you're here. How can we best support you? So for a student, that might be that they need some accommodations or modifications to their academic expectations. Another student, it might be that they need some more social support because they might be on the shy side, or they're unable to verbalize what they really need in the moment. And then emotionally, it might be that they've had a change at home, or they've had a, unfortunate experience at another school. So we have to make sure that that can be left behind and that we can start fresh. I've seen them be able to continue to move forward. And that, I think, the journey, it's always about what's the next step, 1 foot forward, no steps back. And they know that even when they leave FDS, Fieldstone Day School, that they bring their experiences with them. So it's been a lovely journey for so many. And to be able to see students that started in JK graduate from grade 12 and go on to university or college or take a year off and travel and then do something. Yeah, it's definitely fun filled, and it's definitely challenging, but worthwhile. There's teachers that have been there from the start. I've been there for 18 years, and we've had a group of teachers that have been there from 5 years to a decade. And usually those that have left during my majority of my time at the school have left to move to a different province. Some have gone to a different country. Others have made a family and are moving to a school closer to their home. And I think more recently, the turnovers have been a little bit more recent, where we're filling positions more often than we normally would. But thankfully, we still have teachers coming in that are there, supportive of the school, so grateful for the experience. And even if they do leave, they're so thankful for what they've learned and experienced at Fieldstone. Most teachers that come, they want to stay, but it depends where life takes them, I think, especially right now. But I think we do our best. We try to have no surprises for our teachers. They love the class sizes, the small class sizes, and being part of like a small family, and that works for a lot of people. I have a team now where I have my OGs of when I started as assistant head, and then we've had some new teachers come in, but as a group, you would not be able to pinpoint which teacher's new versus which teacher's been there longer, like to someone who's just coming in, because we connect so quickly and we're all there for the right reason, which is what's best for the kids. So that's always, especially as an admin, that's what really makes my heart full, is that while the teachers are there, they are giving 100%, completely focused on the success of the school and the students. A student that lives the values of the school is definitely the student that always remembers that they can learn more and that they can trust themselves and what they're capable of, but they should never be afraid to ask their teacher for help. That's really important for our school. We are here to help. We don't expect perfection. We expect, effort, and we support effort. And also a student that I have one in particular in mind, who no matter who they're with in the school, where they are in the school, their character is what I call top notch. So their manners are in place. They're following the school rules, the class rules. They're looking out for their friends. They aren't doing something they shouldn't be doing. And again, if they need help or they're unsure of something or feeling uncomfortable for something, they're comfortable with going to any adults that's employed at the school. If there is a problem, they don't take it home with them. They make sure that they speak to someone before they leave, so that they have a plan for the next day, so that a small problem doesn't become a big problem. So it's the student that is always caring, trustworthy, and all the other wonderful traits that I could list off. And they're also a good role model for the students. Pre-COVID, we can talk about it. Alumni often are invited to come and be part of our special events that our new students put on. So we've had alumni come and be judges for public speaking showcases for grades 2 to 8, which has been amazing. The alumni have attended special events like the end of year barbecue, or they've come to the welcome barbecue and just talked about the school and their experiences. And I think, I'm trying to think what else the alumni has done. They do, like pre-COVID, they used to have like mid mid-year and end of year meetings, and they would check in and give us an update and let them know how they're doing. And then they would write testimonials, which would then be shared to students who want to know, what is life like after Fieldstone? And so because of our alumni, we're able to not only say what we think, but what has actually been experienced. So the alumni does play an important role in whether our students continue on to the high school from grade 8 to grade 9. And I think that connection is really important. And a lot of them are on our social media and liking the posts and, sending an email to check in, and we're able to share and say, oh yes, so a former student of Fieldstone just liked your post about creating a garden. We have the kindergarten right now, and it's on social media and it's done great. So I think, yeah, the alumni, when they do leave, they like to come back and visit, especially to see their teachers, which I love, and to see if there's any way they can help students that are there now with, the decisions for the future. Students that are really interested in learning more, being challenged further, and being part of a smaller group where they can be part of a team. Those students are really drawn to our school. They also, we have a lot of students recently that have come to the school for a better social group. So friends that will be kind always, will include them always. So we have students that are really strive for inclusion, for kindness, being part of a team, and also allowed to be unique. And in our group of kids, they're all unique and they're all special in their own ways, and they work so well together. So we're a really safe space for that. The one thing that we really have struggled, and where a student hasn't excelled and has had to move on, is behavior. We don't, again, expect perfect behavior. That we don't expect perfect from ourselves. We don't expect perfect from our kids, but students that require modifications due to behavior issues, unfortunately, do not excel at our school. It requires an environment that just doesn't flow with the majority of our students. We have a great, encouraging positive behavior program that we follow for our young kids, and then it just kind of rolls into the older grades, and it doesn't have to be addressed. But with behavior issues that are consistent and there's additional support needed, that's not something we can offer. Like, we don't have educational assistants in our classroom. So it's the teacher. And that's why we're really thankful for parents that are fully transparent about their child's needs, because we want to make sure our school is the best fit for them, not just that they are the best fit for us. And we don't want to take a student on that we can't give the full support that's required. So our school culture, number one is happy, unique, and inclusive. All of our kids get along to some degree. And it's cute because they will say, well, Miss Martin says you don't have to be best friends, but you have to be friendly. So our school culture, we just flourish on kindness for everybody, acceptance of everybody, and just including everybody. So at recess, you will have, it's so cute, a grade 1 student learning how to play Foursquare from a grade 8 student. And what school? I've never known a school where that would even be possible, right? And there's boundaries. So it's like, okay, I'm going to play with you for 5 minutes, this group for 5 minutes, and then we're going to play our own game. But they take the time. So it's really, it's a culture that we're really connected. It's a really welcoming, inclusive, happy community. The parents are very open, honest, transparent. And I think same like for teachers and admin, we really have an open dialogue, consistent communication. We send a weekly Friday file, which not only talks about what we've done as a school on as a whole school, but by grade. So the parents get to know what their students have, or their children, sorry, have done in every class. And then they get to know what's coming ahead. Parents know they can write us a note in the agenda. They can send us an email and we will get back to them. And if they have like a time sensitive issue, they know that they can call the office staff, and our office staff is amazing too. They know each and every child, all the parents' names, and they can just talk on the phone if it's something immediate, like you're on the way to school and something's happened. Just give us a call. They know that we are doing our best for their children every day, and we want what's best for their children, and we don't overlook things. If we see a problem, we're going to reach out and figure out a solution as quick as possible. So when we have two students who have had maybe a disagreement or a misunderstanding or are just not getting along, we prefer first to talk to them individually, get both sides of the story, and then we will meet with the teachers and get their insight. From there, we would offer a group meeting, and we would ask if they are comfortable with sitting with that other student, and also allow them to bring a teacher of their choice to the meeting for support. And I think the number one thing is something happened that made one or both of you uncomfortable, and we need to do our best to fix it and figure out how to prevent it from happening again. And that really is the best. I always tell my students, so say something happened at recess. I know that's very vague, but say there was an issue at recess and they're coming in and they're both angry, and they come to me, Miss Martin, I need you right now. And they're, they come in and they're very upset. The first thing I always say is, okay, let's take a breath. I'm going to listen to both of you, but we need to do this in a respectful and calm manner. And from there, sometimes we've resolved it in 5 minutes because really it was about, optics, like how it looked to the other student. Other times it was how something was said, but not actually what was being said. And we will follow up with the parents about the situation and what we're going to do as next steps. And then I always have a follow-up meeting. So if this would happen on a Monday, I'd make sure to meet with both kids by the Friday. So they leave for the weekend knowing, okay, Miss Martin hasn't forgotten, or this teacher hasn't forgotten, and we're still doing this. And it keeps them accountable too. Good sense of humor that's appropriate, being accountable, and you showing kindness always. So we're on a beautiful campus, former TDSB school, Toronto District School Board School. And we have a lovely park nearby that we've often used for a mini field trip. We've been able to arrange Terry Fox runs in the, around the surrounding area of the school. We've also had the pleasure of having one of the city councilors come and be a judge at our public speaking showcase. And we've had other city councilors come and speak to the kids for, to learn more about politics or to learn more about the neighborhood and what these different parties are doing for the community. Years ago, but we would love to be able to do this again. We would rent space at the hockey rink nearby, and we would get a group of kids together to go play hockey or just to skate, which was really nice. And I think overall, we have students coming from all over Toronto, really, but majority of them are local students. So it's we kind of have like little Fieldstone families living nearby around the corner, so we're really we're open to the community too if they need a space to play sports. And yeah, it's great. So in searching for a school, the first thing I always suggest to parents is do your research. And just as when I've been given a new grade, I don't just take things for face value. I don't just take on the previous teacher's lesson plans. I learn for myself, and that's what I really think is important for the parents to do. So do your research, look at social media, try to connect with families that are presently at the school, or if that's an option. I know that's something we love to do for our prospective families. And I think be completely transparent. Don't hide anything, and be proud of everything your child has accomplished thus far, and have a clear goal in mind of where you want your child to go and how they can best get there. And lastly, I would say include your child to some extent in their choice for a new school, and allow them to know that there are options and there isn't just one choice or no choice, that they also feel that they're part of the process of searching for a school. I think it makes the kids feel more confident in the final decision that is made. And it also allows the school for which the student is going to eventually choose really get to know the child, because that's who the school will be spending. When I say the school, I mean the whole group, like all the staff and the other kids who they'll be spending the most time with.
For more information about this school, you can visit their profile at ourkids.net.